Hiya guys, and welcome to this video. So that was a 251 idea built from two different minor pentatonic scales, the normal minor pentatonic scale and the minor 6 pentatonic, which is going to be the topic of today's video. So what is the minor 6 pentatonic scale first? So all it is the minor pentatonic scale with a flattened 7th degree. So the minor pentatonic scale, we've got our root, minor 3rd, 4th, 5th, but then instead of our flat 7th, we're going to play the 6th instead. So that gives us a lovely sound. That gives us this sound instead of our... So subtle difference, but the difference of that one note allows us to apply it to different chords, and it's wonderful for playing through different changes. So the name, the minor 6 pentatonic, obviously implies that it would be played over a minor 6 chord, which is a common use for this scale. However, it's also sometimes called the dominant pentatonic scale. So if we were to play the A minor 6 pentatonic over a dominant chord on its 4th degree, so in this case that would be D7, it would give us a lovely D7 or a D9 sound. Which is a really useful sound, as in a normal pentatonic scale, we're never given the option of a scale with both the 3rd and the flat 7th for a dominant chord. So the minor 6 pentatonic scale is such a useful chord in so many circumstances. So let's start off by looking at an idea over an A minor 6 chord that uses the A minor 6 pentatonic scale in a less conventional way. There we go, guys. So there was an idea that was built from the A minor 6 pentatonic scale. So before we get on to using this in a 251 context, guys, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and leave a comment. If you've got any questions, please leave them below and I'll make sure to answer them. On Patreon this week, we will be going through all the harmonic possibilities of the A minor pentatonic scale. But here we're just going to look at well, we looked at the minor 6 option. You can experiment with it over a D9 chord, but the main thing we're going to look at today is using it in an altered context. So if we take a 251 in C major, we've got the chords D minor 7, G altered, and C major 7 to end on. So obviously over the 2 chord, D minor 7, a safe bet is always our D minor pentatonic scale. So we'll go for that. So for the G altered chord, we can apply the minor 6 pentatonic in exactly the same way as we would the melodic minor scale. Many of you will know, in order to play the superlocrian mode or the altered scale, you will play the melodic minor scale from the flat 9th of the altered chord. So in this case, a G altered, we would play our melodic minor from our A flat. So that would give us our G altered scale. So we are also going to be playing, instead of the whole melodic minor scale, we're going to be playing our minor 6 pentatonic from the flat 9th, our A flat. And then finally, over the C major chord, you will remember from our harmonic colors video that we can play both E minor pentatonic and C major pentatonic over a C major chord. So let's use both of these colors for this example. So first of all, let's take a close-up look at the idea that I played at the start. So as you can see, we started on a 2-1-2 pattern on our D minor pentatonic. We then played a pentatonic fragment from the top. So if any of these stretches are too much for you, if you're not comfortable with them, you can always refinger these ideas. You can always refinger them, but it's all personal preference. I like the flow that the hammer-ons give the sound. And if you work on your stretch and strengthen your fingers, you'll be able to achieve it. It doesn't require huge hands by any stretch of the imagination. It's just practice and building up the finger strength. So, as I said, we start with our 2-1-2 pattern and then go into a pentatonic fragment. Then we resolve to the G altered chord. So we go to the sharp 5 of our G altered and we go down an A flat minor 6 pentatonic scale. And then we go up a 2-1-2 pattern in the A flat minor 6 scale. And then we resolve to our E minor pentatonic. And finally going back up the C major pentatonic. So that whole idea put together. So hopefully you can see how by just changing that one note in the pentatonic scale, we're really able to hit the money notes of each chord change, which we can do in many ways with a normal pentatonic scale, but having these other options is always great. Just adds a different kind of harmonic color to our sound. So I'll far more often play a minor 6 pentatonic scale over a 7 chord or an altered chord than I will a normal pentatonic scale, just because it really hits the sounds that I want to hear in my head. So I would really experiment taking the minor 6 pentatonic scale and applying all the exercises that we looked at previously with the normal pentatonic scale. So that would be groupings, our 2-1-2 concept, our skip note groupings. I know these kind of exercises can seem a little bit dull, but by applying these exercises to these different altered pentatonic scales, then it really is a great foundation for building language. And that's the way that I built my language up, with these altered pentatonic scales. So we will be looking at a couple of other pentatonic alterations on the YouTube channel. I went through 5 in my book, so if you want to go into real depth on this topic, guys, please check out my book on my website. And as I said, on Patreon, we will be going through all of the harmonic possibilities found within the minor 6 pentatonic scale. But hopefully today's video kind of gives you something to play around with and experiment, and hopefully you can incorporate this sound into your playing and have some fun with it. But anyway, guys, I hope that was of some benefit to some of you, and I'll see you very shortly for another video.